Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. If you don't already know, my name is Reed Nicholson, also known as Reed Your Realtor. And in today's video, I'm going to go through exactly how a buyer looking at purchasing a new home can make their offer the strongest it can possibly be to actually get the offer accepted. So if that's something that you are interested in or wondering more about, stay tuned because we're going to get right into it. Okay, so to kick everything off, we'll start with the basics. When you first submit an offer, one of the first things the seller is going to look at when reviewing your offer is what type of loan you have. Now, the list can kind of go on, but there's a few mains, and those are conventional loans, FHA loans, VA loans, and then you have like MSHDA loans, rural development loans. The list really, it goes on. Out of all those, though, the strongest loan you can get and the one that's going to be the most appealing to a potential seller that you're submitting an offer to is a conventional loan. I will go into detail on a different video on what the different types of loans are and why one's stronger than the other or one's more appealing than the other. But for now, just know that if you are using a conventional loan, you are miles ahead of other buyers that are in your area or submitting on the home that you want to ideally purchase. Next, a seller is also going to look at how much of a down payment you're putting down. Obviously, the more you put down, the stronger your offer will be, and this is another contributing factor to what sellers will look at when they are considering accepting one offer over another. Ideally, again, the more you put down, the higher the chances are of an offer being accepted, but that is another basic way to enhance or make your offer a bit stronger in hopes of actually winning that home that you really want to purchase. Another way to make your loan a little bit more appealing, maybe put yourself ahead of all the other competing offers that you're going against, is the amount of earnest money you put down. Basically what an earnest money deposit is it's just a good faith deposit that shows you're a serious buyer and you have the funds to actually make it all the way to the closing table. It signifies to the seller that you're serious about this process, you're serious about buying his home, and the larger you go on your EMD, the better the chances are that you get an offer accepted. Another thing to consider is if you're looking at a home that looks like it potentially needs some repairs or you already know that it needs some repairs, you can actually put in a credit on your offer that goes towards any repairs. Basically, you can put in there, buyer willing to pay $5,000 towards any potential repairs, and then that will go in as a credit, and any repairs that come up, you're guaranteeing that you're going to pay up to $5,000 to cover those repairs. Again, this is another great way to increase your offer, or your chances at least of getting your offer accepted and making it a lot more appealing to the seller, and it also, in turn of all that, puts you ahead of any other potential buyers that are also submitting offers on that property. Okay, so now we kind of got the basic ways of how to increase the likelihood of your offer actually getting accepted by the seller. Now we're going to get into a little bit more nitty-gritty, in-depth ways of having a higher likely chance of getting your offer accepted. That way is using a escalation clause. If you've never heard of this, here's basically what it does. It allows you to submit an offer at a certain price and say to the seller that you're going or you are willing to go $5,000 over whatever the next highest offer is up to this max out price. If that doesn't make sense, here's an example. You're interested in a home at $300,000 and you use an escalation clause to make your offer stronger. What you state in that escalation clause is, we are putting an offer in at $300,000 and we are willing to beat out any or the next highest offer by $5,000 up to, let's just say, $350,000. So basically what you just said there is you put an offer in at $300,000, and if there's any other offers that are above $300,000 that you're competing with, well, what you just stated in that is that you're willing to go $5,000 above whatever that highest next offer is up to $350,000. So you can basically outbid other buyers or other competitors on their offer, and you can set a limit on how high that actually ends up going. Hope that helps. That's basically an escalation clause. I've used these a lot. They are amazing ways to beat out other offers and make your offer the strongest it can possibly be. And lastly, another great way to get your offer accepted, especially in the market we're in right now where homes are literally flying off the shelf for way above what they're listed at is I'll use an analogy that my broker uses. If you live in Grand Rapids, don't ask Miss Olympia for a date. What she means by that is, if you live in Grand Rapids, and the last way I have to make your offer the absolute strongest it can be, well, and honestly, this isn't even a way to make your offer stronger. It's more of just a tip from me working with many buyers in my area to you. If you're having a hard time getting your offers accepted, you've looked at multiple different homes and just haven't been able to have any luck, and you don't necessarily have the funds or the loan or whatnot that I talked about just earlier, here's something that you might want to consider. Don't ask Miss Olympia for a date if you're from Grand Rapids. What I mean by this, don't go looking for the prettiest home. Don't go looking for the home that was freshly remodeled. Don't go looking for the home that's just absolutely stunning and everybody else in your area is looking at that home. If that's what you're doing and that's what's going on, you may just be having an issue of you're competing with way too many other people that do have the funds to do all these things. So my tip or piece of advice I'd give to you is start looking at homes that have all the qualities, the rooms, everything that you're looking for in a home. Start looking at those, but maybe it's not freshly remodeled. Maybe it's not the most beautiful home on the block. Maybe it's not the most just stunning home. But guess what? That home isn't getting as much offers. That home isn't getting as much attention. And you're going to be competing with a lot less people when you do write an offer. So if it has all the qualities you're looking for and maybe just needs some work, and I'm not talking like, oh my God, it's a dump, it needs a complete remodel and flip. I'm saying look for maybe just a home that's a little bit more outdated that you could actually picture yourself living in if you went ahead and did all the touches that you specifically wanted on the home, but it still fits all the qualities that you're looking for in a home. That might be the offer that you want to write. Again, it may not be the most pretty, the most remodeled, the most stunning, but it might be the home that you can get an offer accepted on. And in the grand scheme of things, down the road, you can always make the home upgraded or do whatever you want to do to make it yours. But for now, especially with just the market we're in and all the competition, if you can take your attention off of all the stunning, beautiful, freshly remodeled, freshly repainted, whatnot homes that everybody's looking at, and you can step back and say, well, hey, what are the qualities that I'm looking for in a home? What do I really need for my home? What am I looking to get out of my home? And maybe go the route of homes that aren't so popular and aren't being looked at as much. That could just be another great way to actually end up getting an offer accepted. If you're struggling with any of these other options that I talked about, or if you're just struggling in general to get an offer accepted, I feel you. I feel your pain. And this could be a great way to kind of work around that and actually in the long term end up making the home exactly what you want. Okay, so if you're a buyer in the West Michigan, Grand Rapids area, or really just a buyer anywhere right now, I hope these tips helped you. I hope this information gave you a little bit more insight or depth into what realtors do, how we look at offers, and how we like to structure our offers to actually get you inside the home and purchase the home that you're really wanting to buy. Again, I do hope that all this information was useful, helpful. I'd love to hear if it was down in the comments below. And other than that, I really appreciate you watching. Feel free to get in touch with me. I'll leave my information right here. And other than that, I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thanks for watching.